Spirits of the Old Cemetery. The old Crestwood Cemetery hadn't seen a burial since 1927. Its iron gates rusted shut, sealing off a world of crumbling headstones and tangled weeds. Crestwood's townsfolk avoided it, their warnings woven into bedtime stories. Lights flickering among the graves, a child's laughter echoing without a source, the scent of fresh earth where no spade had turned. The cemetery crouched at the edge of town, its silence louder than the wind, daring the bold to test its secrets. 17-year-old Mark Danner scoffed at the tales, his skepticism a shield. Ghosts are for kids, he told his friends Cassie and Jordan, planning a midnight venture to debunk the myths. Armed with flashlights and a phone camera, they scaled the gate under a moonless October sky, the air biting their skin. Inside, the cemetery was a frozen sea of decay. Headstones tilted like drunken sentinels, their inscriptions worn to whispers. The ground sank underfoot, soft and uneven, as if hollowed by unseen tunnels. Cassie's breath puffed in pale clouds, her flashlight jittering. "This place feels wrong," she murmured, her voice swallowed by the stillness. Jordan, usually brash, stayed close, his bravado faltering. Mark led the way, his grin defiant. 3 hours, he said, checking his phone, 11:47 p.m. If nothing happens by 3, we bury this ghost nonsense. For 30 minutes, only an owl's hoot broke the silence. The trio wove through graves, their beams catching faded names. Eleanor, 1872 to 1890. Thomas, 1845 to 1863. The air grew colder, heavier, pressing against their chests. Cassie stopped, her eyes wide. "Listen," she whispered. A sound drifted from the cemetery's heart, a woman's voice, soft and mournful, singing a lullaby. Its melody curled around them, both tender and wrong, like a mother soothing a child to sleep forever. Jordan's flashlight wavered. "That's not possible," he said, his voice tight. Mark's bravado flickered, but he pushed forward. "Let's find it." The song led them to the oldest section, where graves sank into damp earth, their stones moss-choked and crumbling. The lullaby grew clearer, its notes weaving through the fog that had begun to coil around their ankles. They reached a mausoleum, its stone facade cracked, the door ajar. An icy draft slithered out, carrying mildew and a faint sweetness, like rotting flowers. Jordan aimed his light inside, revealing cobwebbed walls. "No way I'm going in there," he said, stepping back. Cassie clutched her jacket, her face pale. Mark forced a laugh. "We didn't come to chicken out." Against the pull in his gut, he stepped inside, the others trailing reluctantly. The mausoleum's air was thick, the cold sinking into their bones. Their flashlights swept over splintered coffins on dusty shelves. Some collapsed, exposing fragments of bone. The lullaby stopped, the silence sharper than before. Cassie's beam flickered, her voice trembling. "We need to leave." A soft thump echoed behind them, like a bare foot on stone. They turned, hearts pounding, as footprints appeared in the dust, small, childlike, pacing toward them. The temperature plunged, their breath streaming in long, ghostly clouds. Jordan's light caught something forming in the dark. A little girl, no older than 6, her tattered dress from another era. Braids fraying, skin gray as ash. Her eyes, too wide, gleamed unnaturally. She smiled, her voice a chilling whisper. "Are you here to play?" Cassie pressed against the wall, her flashlight shaking. "Mark?" The girl's smile faded, her head tilting. "They don't like it when you say no." From the mausoleum's depths came a rustling, a cacophony of footsteps, dozens, hundreds, moving as one. Shapes emerged, men, women, children, their eyes black voids, faces caved in, bones twisted as if crushed by an unseen force. Their movements were jerky, like puppets on frayed strings. The girl turned to them, her voice bright. "They want to play too." A chorus of whispers rose, overlapping, hissing names, dates, pleas, a deafening cacophony that clawed at their minds. Mark bolted, shoving past Cassie and Jordan, his flashlight swinging wildly. They stumbled after him, the mausoleum's door slamming shut behind them. The cemetery had changed. The ground rippled, graves bulging as if breathing. Pale hands, skeletal and claw-like, burst through the soil, grasping at their ankles. Jordan screamed as fingers snagged his leg, yanking him down. The earth swallowed him to his waist, then his chest, his cries muffled as Mark and Cassie pulled frantically. "Hold on," Mark shouted, but the ground tightened like a fist, dragging Jordan under. His final scream cut off, leaving only silence. Cassie sobbed. Her flashlight dropped, its beam rolling across a headstone. Mark grabbed her arm, hauling her toward the gate. The air pulsed with whispers, the lullaby returning, now a chorus of voices. Hands brushed their legs, cold and insistent, but they didn't stop. They scrambled over the fence, collapsing on the other side, their breaths ragged. Mark glanced back. The girl stood just inside the gate, her small hands gripping the bars, her smile serene. "You'll come back," she said, her voice carrying a certainty that chilled his blood. She vanished, the cemetery swallowing her into its fog. The police searched for Jordan the next day, finding only his backpack and phone near a sunken grave. Runaway, they concluded, ignoring the cracked earth, the faint footprints too small for an adult. Mark and Cassie tried to explain. The girl, the hands, the voices, but their words sounded mad, even to themselves. Within a year, both left Crestwood, fleeing the memories. Mark settled in a city far away, but the lullaby followed, drifting through his dreams. One night, he woke to find dusty footprints, small, bare, leading from his bed to the window. He burned sage, moved again, but the song lingered, a promise of return. Cassie fared worse. She stopped speaking, her eyes haunted. Her family found her one morning, staring at a mirror, whispering, "They're waiting." Crestwood buried the incident, as it had the cemetery's other secrets. The gates remain locked, but at night, lights flicker among the graves, and laughter, high childish, echoes through the trees. The townsfolk avoid Hollow Bend Road, knowing the old Crestwood cemetery waits, its spirits restless, calling for new playmates to join them beneath the earth.